The Philadelphia Eagles were so close to winning another Super Bowl but came up short to the Chiefs and lost by 3 points. It was a disappointing outcome for Eagle fans, but they can take comfort in fact their team gave it all and had a successful season. Philly made some smart moves during the offseason, including the trade for wide receiver AJ Brown. Adding AJ Brown to the roster was a major move and one that paid off for the team. Brown is a talented and a dynamic wide receiver who has quickly established himself as one of the top playmakers in the league, but I think credit needs to go to Nick Sirianni, and I can argue all day that he should have won the Coach of the Year award. And in 2 seasons, he has built a terrifying team, but not just a team, a plan to win games. The plan was simple for the Eagles: time of possession. That was big for the Eagles. Even in the Super Bowl, Philly had the ball for 35 minutes. But I think the guy that surprised everybody was Jalen Hurts in his 3rd season in Philadelphia. He did have a great season as well in 2021, throwing for over 3,100 yards and rushing for 784 yards, but everyone was sleeping on him. I kept my mouth shut because I had some sort of feeling that by year 3 or 4 he was going to make noise, and that's exactly what he did this season. In the Super Bowl alone, he ran 3 touchdowns and had a beautiful throw to AJ Brown for a passing touchdown. On top, he made history and set a record for the most rushing yards ever done by a quarterback in a Super Bowl. In addition of his impressive rushing performance, Jalen tied Terrell Davis's record for the most touchdowns by any player in a Super Bowl game. Philly did win a Super Bowl 5 years ago with Doug Peterson, but their new head coach Nick Sirianni has been phenomenal, and his coaching philosophy is simple. He believed in putting his players in the best possible position to succeed. He tolerated his game plan to each player's strength and weaknesses, giving them the confidence they needed to execute on the field. And that's exactly what he has done with the Eagles, putting Jalen Hurts in the best possible way to succeed. As the season progressed, the Eagles began to hit their stride, and it was shown right off the bat as the season started with a Week 1 win over the Lions in a high-scoring game. The Eagles won their first 8. Their first loss was to Washington on a Monday night game, and pretty much Washington took over Philadelphia's game plan and was able to control the ball for 40 minutes. Then the Eagles went on to win another 5, but then lost to divisional rivals the Cowboys 40-34 and New Orleans 20-10. And in their final game, they beat the New York Giants 22-16. The Eagles had to face the Giants again after New York beat the Vikings in the wild card, but the Giants got blown out pretty badly 38-7 by Philly. The NFC Championship was against the 49ers and ended up blowing out the Niners as well. Then Super Bowl 57. Eagles looked great. Going into the half, they were up by 10 points, but after the half, I felt like the Eagles were going to win. But the punt return in the early 4th quarter was big for Kansas City. Now, there was some questionable calls made by the referees, but without a doubt, Philadelphia will be back. The team has good weapons, a good defense. They even signed veteran players to the defense during the season. They lost both their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator right after the Super Bowl, as they were hired as head coaches for different teams. That's really the only downside, but I think this team is going to be scary next season as well. And they're clearly the top team in the AFC East. That's for sure going to be a very interesting division. All those 4 teams can be very good, but again, the Eagles feel like a more completed team than the other 3 in the division. Best way to put it, this team is good. Bitch, be some stars, pull up in foreign cars.